The blue glow of the star map filled the bridge of the swift current. Captain HFY stood before the holographic display, his forearms crossed in deep thought. The insectoid alien's compound eyes studied the three-dimensional chart that showed thousands of star systems. Trade routes connected distant worlds in a web of light, but there was something wrong. A massive blank space sat in the middle of the map like a hole in reality. Navigator Thross explained this empty region again. HFY clicked in his native language. The universal translator converted his words for the mixed crew. The crystalline being at the navigation station turned his geometric head toward the captain. Light refracted through his transparent body as he moved. Captain, according to all our star charts, this area simply does not exist in our databases. The coordinates are there, but no information fills the space. Dr. Velnara looked up from her research console. The amphibian scientist's wet skin glistened under the bridge lights. I have been studying this anomaly for 3 days now. Every galactic database shows the same thing. The region spans approximately 47 light-years in diameter. Yet there is no record of any exploration missions, no trade routes, no colonies, nothing. HFY moved closer to the hologram. His clawed finger pointed at the edge of the blank space. What are these markers here? Thross manipulated the display controls. The image zoomed in on the border region. Small red symbols appeared along the boundary like warning signs. Ancient beacon markers, Captain. Most are written in dead languages. The few we can translate say things like boundary established by council decree and navigation prohibited beyond this point. Council decree? Velnara's throat sac inflated with interest. Which council? The current Galactic Trade Council only goes back 200 years. These markers look much older. The ship's computer chimed softly. A synthetic voice filled the bridge. Historical search complete. Council Decree 2387 established the navigation boundary approximately 312 years ago. Original documentation is classified at the highest levels. Available records show only the phrase "the map ends here" by Council Decree 2387. HFY's antennae twitched with frustration. In all his years commanding research vessels, he had never encountered such a mystery. Computer, what was the reason for this decree? Information not available in accessible databases. Velnara left her station and approached the star map. Captain, I have studied xenobiology across the galaxy for most of my life. I know of no spacefaring species that would leave such a large region unexplored. The stellar density in this area should support hundreds of worlds. Perhaps there is danger, Thross suggested. His crystalline voice resonated like wind chimes. Black holes, unstable stars, some natural phenomenon that makes exploration impossible. Then why not mark it as such? HFY asked. Why leave it completely blank? Why classify the information? The captain walked to his command chair and activated the ship-wide communication system. All department heads report to the bridge for mission briefing. Within minutes, the senior staff gathered around the holographic display. Chief Engineer Korkstal, a heavily built Morthak, studied the blank space with his single large eye. Security Chief Drasman, a reptilian saurian, kept his weapons harness ready as always. Science Officer Kleineth, a floating gas bag creature from the methane worlds, bobbed nervously in the air. Colleagues, HFY began, we have discovered something unprecedented, a region of space that has been deliberately erased from all galactic records. As a scientific research vessel, it is our duty to investigate. Drasman's forked tongue flicked out nervously. Captain, if this region was marked as off-limits by ancient decree, there must be a reason. Perhaps we should request permission from the current Galactic Council before proceeding. That could take months, Velnara protested. By then, another research team might claim the discovery. Think of the scientific value. An entire unexplored region of space. Chief Engineer Korkstal rumbled in his deep voice. The swift current is equipped for long-range exploration. Our shields and weapons are adequate for most threats. If we encounter danger, we can retreat. Kleineth floated higher, his gas-filled body pulsing with bioluminescent patterns that indicated concern. My atmospheric readings show unusual energy signatures along the boundary. Not natural stellar phenomena. Something artificial. HFY made his decision. We will approach the boundary and conduct passive scans. If we detect immediate danger, we retreat. If not, we proceed with caution. The crew returned to their stations. Thross began plotting a course toward the nearest boundary marker. Velnara prepared her scientific equipment for whatever they might discover. The swift current turned toward the mysterious blank space on the galactic map. 3 hours later, they reached the boundary region. The view screen showed normal space filled with distant stars. Nothing appeared dangerous or unusual. But the ship's sensors told a different story. "Captain," Kleineth reported, "I am detecting multiple artificial objects in this system. They appear to be some kind of monitoring stations or satellites." "On screen," Zexhai ordered. The main view screen switched to long-range sensors. Dozens of metallic objects floated in space around them. They were sleek and angular, unlike any technology the crew recognized. More disturbing was their obvious age. These satellites had been here for centuries, yet they still functioned. "Are they scanning us?" Strassman asked, his hand moving to his weapon controls. Thross checked his instruments. "Yes, Captain. Multiple scanning beams are focused on our ship. But they are not targeting weapons. These appear to be sensor scans only. Whose technology is this?" Velnara wondered aloud. "I do not recognize the design patterns." Suddenly, the ship shuddered. Emergency alarms began sounding throughout the vessel. Chief Engineer Korkstell's voice came over the communication system from the engine room. "Captain, we have a problem. The solar storm from the nearby star is interfering with our navigation systems. The gravitational distortion is pulling us off course. Can you compensate?" Zexhai demanded. "Negative, Captain. The storm is too strong. We are being drawn deeper into the boundary region." Zexhai watched the view screen as more ancient satellites appeared around them. They were crossing the line that had been forbidden for over 3 centuries. The blank space on the galactic map was about to reveal its secrets. "All hands, prepare for unknown contact," he announced. "We are about to discover why this region was erased from every map in the galaxy." The swift current drifted deeper into the mysterious space, surrounded by watching satellites that belonged to no known civilization. Behind them, the boundary markers grew distant. Ahead lay only the unknown, and the growing certainty that they were being observed by something that had waited patiently for over 300 years. The monitoring station Watchpost 7 hung silently in space like a metal spider waiting for prey. Commander Jake Morrison sat in the command center, watching his screens with practiced eyes. For 12 years, he had overseen this remote outpost at the edge of human space. In all that time, nothing had ever crossed the boundary, until today. "Commander?" called out Lieutenant Sarah Kim from the sensor station. "The alien vessel has stopped drifting. They appear to be trying to restart their engines." Jake stood up from his chair and walked to the main display screen. The strange ship looked nothing like human designs. It had curved surfaces and organic-looking features that suggested builders who thought very differently from humans. "Any weapon signatures?" "Negative, sir. Their power levels are low. Looks like they were damaged by the solar storm when they crossed the boundary." Lieutenant Tony Davis turned from his communication console. "Sir, should I send the standard warning message?" Jake paused. The standard warning was designed to scare away anyone who accidentally wandered into human space. It had been created 300 years ago when humanity first went into isolation, but these aliens appeared to be scientists, not invaders. Their ship was clearly not military. "Belay that order," Jake decided. "Prepare the first contact package instead." Both officers looked surprised. Lieutenant Kim spoke first. "Sir, we haven't used those protocols in over 200 years. Are you sure? These people are stranded and possibly in danger. We help first, ask questions later." Jake moved to his personal console and began typing in authorization codes. "Contact New Boston Command. Tell Admiral Patterson we have a situation." Dr. Lisa Chang was eating lunch in the station cafeteria when her communication device buzzed with an emergency message. As the station's xenopsychologist, she had never expected to actually use her training. Human contact with alien species had ended centuries ago. She rushed to the command center, her heart racing with excitement and fear. "Commander Morrison," she said breathlessly as she entered. "I got your message. Is this real?" Jake pointed to the main screen where the alien ship slowly tumbled in space. "Very real, Doctor. We need to make first contact without starting a war or causing a panic. Think you can handle that?" Lisa stared at the vessel in amazement. "I have studied alien psychology for 15 years, but always from old records. This is incredible." She pulled out her portable computer and began reviewing protocols. "What do we know about them?" "Sensor scans show multiple species aboard their ship," Lieutenant Kim reported. "At least 4 different biological signatures. Their technology seems advanced but not threatening. They have weapons, but they are clearly scientific instruments, not military grade. Lisa nodded as she read through the first contact procedures. The old protocols suggest we should approach slowly and offer assistance. Show them we are not hostile but also not weak. Jake activated the ship-wide communication system. All hands, this is the commander. We are about to make first contact with an alien vessel. Follow standard procedures, but remember, these may be the first non-humans we have spoken to in 3 centuries. Stay calm and professional. The human patrol ship Defender launched from Watchpost 7 30 minutes later. Jake commanded the mission personally, with Lisa and a small security team aboard. As they approached the alien vessel, Lisa felt her hands shaking with nervous energy. Opening communication channels, reported the pilot, broadcasting on all standard frequencies. A few minutes passed before the alien ship responded. The main screen flickered and showed the bridge of the swift current. Captain HFY appeared on screen, his insectoid features clearly visible. Lisa stepped forward, following the first contact protocols exactly. Greetings. I am Dr. Lisa Chang of the Human Monitoring Station Watchpost 7. We detected your vessel in distress and wish to offer assistance. The alien captain's compound eyes focused on the screen. When he spoke, his voice showed complete shock. Human? You said human? Yes, Lisa replied carefully. We are humans. Are you injured? Do you need medical assistance? Behind Captain HFY, other alien crew members gathered around their communication station. Dr. Velnara pushed forward, her amphibian features showing amazement. This is impossible, Velnara said. Humans have been extinct for over 300 years. Our records show your species died out during the Great Plague. Lisa felt confused. I assure you we are very much alive. There are billions of humans living throughout this region of space. Navigator Throst joined the conversation, his crystalline body reflecting the light from their screens. Our star charts show this region as uninhabited. There are no records of human civilization in any galactic database. Jake moved next to Lisa. Commander Jake Morrison, Watchpost 7. It sounds like we have some things to discuss. Would you accept our offer of assistance with repairs to your ship? Captain HFY looked at his crew. They appeared to be having a rapid discussion in their own languages. Finally, he turned back to the screen. Commander Morrison, we would be grateful for your assistance, but we must ask, if humans are alive, why does the galaxy believe you are extinct? Why is this region blank on all our star maps? Jake and Lisa exchanged glances. This was becoming more complicated than a simple first contact. Captain, those are good questions with complex answers. Perhaps we could discuss this in person. Would you be willing to come aboard our station? We have many questions, HFY replied. Very well. We accept your invitation. 2 hours later, the alien delegation materialized in the transport bay of Watchpost 7. Lisa watched in fascination as 4 different species stepped off the transport platform. Each alien looked around in wonder at the human technology surrounding them. Captain HFY approached Jake and Lisa. Commander Doctor, we are grateful for your assistance. But we must understand, if humans still exist, why were we taught that your species was extinct? Jake led them to a conference room while Lisa activated recording equipment. Captain, I think the answer to that question is going to surprise all of us. Before we begin, I need to ask, what do your records say about the last time aliens had contact with humans? Dr. Velnara consulted her portable device. According to our historical databases, the last confirmed human contact was during the Correction War, approximately 312 years ago. After that conflict, your species simply disappeared. Most scholars believed you died from disease or internal conflict. Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. The Correction War was a forbidden topic in human space. Few people discussed what happened during those dark years. Jake took a deep breath. Captain, I think it's time you learned what really happened during that war, and why humanity chose to disappear from galactic civilization. The alien delegation looked at each other with growing concern. They had come seeking scientific discovery. Instead, they were about to uncover a 300-year-old secret that would change everything they believed about human history. Professor Ben Carter walked slowly through the Memorial Hall on New Boston, his footsteps echoing in the quiet space. Behind him, the alien delegation followed in stunned silence. The walls were covered with images and documents from 300 years ago. Each display told part of the story that galactic civilization had tried to forget. This section covers the events leading up to the Correction War, Ben explained, stopping before a large holographic display. As you can see, humanity had been part of galactic civilization for only 60 years when the conflict began. Captain HFY studied the images of human colonies and trade ships. These records show humans expanding rapidly across space. Your species established 47 colonies in less than 50 years. That's correct, Ben nodded. Humans adapt quickly to new environments. We also reproduce faster than most galactic species and have a strong drive to explore. Some alien governments became concerned about our rapid growth. Dr. Velnara pointed to a display showing diplomatic meetings. These images show representatives from our species, the Zilonians, meeting with other alien governments. What were they discussing? Ben's expression grew dark. They were discussing what they called the human problem. Your ancestors and several other species believed that humanity was expanding too quickly and becoming too powerful. The professor led them to the next section of the memorial. Here the displays showed military fleets and battle plans. Navigator Thross examined the tactical information with his mathematical mind. These fleet movements, Thross said slowly, they show a coordinated attack plan involving 7 different alien species, all moving toward human space at the same time. The Correction War began 312 years ago, Ben confirmed. 7 alien civilizations launched a surprise attack on every human colony simultaneously. They called it a correction because they believed humanity needed to be controlled or eliminated. Dr. Lisa Chang joined the group, carrying data tablets with additional information. The alien coalition had several times more ships than humanity. They expected the war to last only a few months. Captain HFY felt his stomach turn. Are you saying that my ancestors participated in an attempted genocide? I'm afraid so, Lisa replied gently. The alien coalition wanted to reduce human population to manageable levels and place the survivors under galactic supervision. Many alien leaders believed humans were too dangerous to remain independent. The group moved to a display showing the first major battle of the war. The alien delegation watched in horror as the historical records played out. Hundreds of alien ships surrounded a small human fleet near the colony world of Haven. This was the Battle of Haven, Ben explained, the first major engagement of the war. The alien coalition expected an easy victory. The hologram showed the battle beginning. The alien fleet outnumbered the humans 10-1, but as the fight progressed, something unexpected happened. Human ships began using tactics that the aliens had never seen before. They moved in unpredictable patterns, used their environment as weapons, and showed a level of innovation that caught the invaders completely off guard. How did such a small human force defeat so many ships? Dr. Velnara asked. Humans fight differently than other species, Lisa explained. When faced with impossible odds, we become more creative, not less. We use unconventional tactics and adapt faster than our enemies expect. The next display showed the war spreading across multiple star systems. What was supposed to be a quick victory for the alien coalition turned into a grinding conflict that lasted 4 years. The turning point came during the second year, Ben continued, leading them to a memorial wall covered with names. Humanity realized that conventional warfare wouldn't save us, so our scientists began working on projects that other species considered impossible. Captain Amy Rodriguez appeared from around a corner, still wearing her archaeological survey uniform. She had been examining battle sites in the outer system when she received word about the alien visitors. Captain Rodriguez leads our archaeological teams, Lisa introduced her. She has studied more battle sites from the Correction War than anyone else. Amy nodded to the alien delegation. I've spent 15 years examining what's left of those battlefields. What I found there changed my understanding of what humans can accomplish when our survival is threatened. She activated a portable hologram projector that showed a 3-dimensional map of a star system. This is the Kepler system, where one of the final battles took place. Would you like to see it? The aliens agreed, though they looked increasingly uncomfortable with what they were learning. Amy led them to a transport ship, and within an hour they were traveling through space toward the Kepler system. The battlefield was preserved exactly as it had been left 3 centuries ago. Twisted metal from alien warships floated alongside the debris of human vessels, but something was clearly wrong with the physics of the area. The space around us is distorted, Navigator Thross observed, checking his instruments. The gravitational fields are not natural. That's because this battlefield was created by human reality manipulation technology, Amy explained. During the war, human scientists learned to bend the laws of physics themselves. Captain Rodriguez guided their ship through the debris field, pointing out various wrecked vessels. You can see ships from all 7 alien species that participated in the coalition. This was the site of the largest space battle in galactic history. Dr. Velnara studied the wreckage through the viewports. The damage patterns are impossible. Some of these ships appear to have been destroyed from the inside out. Others look like they were compressed into small balls of metal. Human technology during the final year of the war went beyond anything previously thought possible, Amy said. We developed weapons that could manipulate space-time, create localized gravity wells, and even briefly tear holes in reality itself. The ship approached the center of the battlefield, where a massive human memorial station marked the end of the war. The structure was beautiful and terrible at the same time, made from materials that seemed to shift and change as they watched. This memorial marks the moment when the alien coalition surrendered, Ben explained. After 4 years of war, humanity had not only survived the attempted genocide, but had developed technology that made us the most powerful species in the galaxy. Captain HFY stared at the memorial in silence. What happened after the surrender? Lisa's voice was quiet when she answered. Humanity faced a choice. We could use our new technology to conquer the galaxy and punish those who tried to destroy us, or we could choose a different path. We chose isolation, Ben continued. Rather than become the oppressors, humanity withdrew from galactic civilization entirely. We used our reality manipulation technology to hide our space from detection and erased ourselves from galactic maps. The alien delegation sat in stunned silence as the implications sank in. Their ancestors had tried to commit genocide against humanity and failed. Instead of seeking revenge, humans had simply chosen to disappear, leaving the galaxy to believe they were extinct. For 300 years, Amy concluded, humanity has lived in isolation, developing our technology and society while the rest of the galaxy forgot we ever existed. Until now. The transport ship descended through the atmosphere of Liberty Prime, humanity's capital world. Captain HFY and his crew pressed their faces to the viewports, watching in amazement as the planet's surface came into view. What they saw challenged everything they thought they knew about civilization. This is impossible, Dr. Velnara whispered. The energy readings from this planet are off the charts. But I see no pollution, no industrial waste, no signs of environmental damage. President Carol Martinez waited for them at the landing platform, flanked by a small security detail. She was a middle-aged woman with kind eyes and silver hair, wearing simple clothes that looked nothing like the elaborate robes worn by galactic leaders. As the alien delegation stepped off their transport, she greeted them personally. Welcome to Liberty Prime, Carol said warmly. I know this visit has been overwhelming for you. I hope we can answer some of your remaining questions. Jake Morrison walked beside the aliens as they toured the capital city. The buildings rose high into the sky, but they were covered with living plants and seemed to grow naturally from the landscape. Streams of clean water flowed through the streets, and the air smelled fresh despite the millions of people living there. How is this possible? Navigator Thross asked, his crystalline body reflecting the strange architecture around them. Our scans show a population of over 50 million people in this city alone. Yet there are no factories, no power plants, no transportation infrastructure. Dr. Sam Parker, a young human physicist, joined their group as they walked through a park in the city center. That's because we learned to work with reality instead of against it. After the war, we spent 3 centuries developing technology that cooperates with natural laws rather than fighting them. They paused beside a fountain where children were playing. The alien visitors watched in fascination as human families enjoyed the peaceful afternoon. The children showed no fear of the strange aliens, only curiosity. Your people seem very calm, Captain HFY observed. In our society, the presence of unknown aliens would cause panic and fear. Humans learned to live without fear after the Correction War, Carol explained. When you have faced extinction and survived, smaller problems seem manageable. Dr. Parker led them to a research facility at the edge of the city. Inside, scientists worked with equipment that seemed to bend light and space around it. The alien delegation watched in fascination as researchers manipulated matter at the quantum level. This is where we study dimensional physics, Sam explained. During the war, we discovered that reality is much more flexible than most species realize. Instead of just using tools, we learned to adjust the fundamental forces of the universe. He activated a demonstration device. A small object appeared to fold in on itself, disappearing from normal space before reappearing in a different location. This is basic spatial manipulation. We use it for transportation, construction, energy generation, and countless other applications. Dr. Velnara studied the readings on her scientific instruments. The energy requirements for such technology should be enormous.
How do you power it?
We tap directly into the quantum vacuum, Sam replied. The space between atoms contains infinite energy. We just learned how to access it safely. Meanwhile, back in Zilonian space, Elder Zexhai sat in his family's private archive chamber. The old alien's hands shook as he accessed records that had been sealed for centuries. His grandson's emergency transmission had forced him to confront secrets that his family had kept hidden for generations. The quantum communication device crackled to life, connecting him to Captain Zexhai's ship near Liberty Prime. The image of his grandson appeared on the screen, along with Dr. Velnara and Navigator Thross. "Grandfather," Captain Zexhai said urgently, "we need to know the truth about the Correction War. The humans are not what we were taught. They are peaceful, advanced, and they chose isolation over revenge. What really happened?" Elder Zexhai closed his eyes in pain. "My grandson, there are things about our family's past that I hoped you would never need to know." The old Zilonian activated his personal archive system. Ancient documents appeared on the screen, showing meetings between alien leaders from 3 centuries ago. The records were in the old Zilonian language that few could read anymore. The war was not started because we feared human expansion, Elder Zexhai admitted. It was started because we discovered what humans were capable of learning. Dr. Velnara leaned forward. "What do you mean?" Human scientists had begun to understand the fundamental nature of reality itself. In just 60 years of space travel, they were asking questions that our species had never thought to ask in thousands of years of civilization. The old alien's voice grew heavy with shame. The other galactic powers became afraid that humans would discover technologies that would make the rest of us obsolete. We were not protecting the galaxy from human aggression. We were protecting our own power from human innovation. Navigator Thross processed this information with his mathematical mind. "You are saying the war was fought to steal human knowledge?" "The plan was to conquer humanity and force their scientists to work for us. We wanted to control their research and prevent them from developing technologies that would change the balance of power in the galaxy." Back on Liberty Prime, President Carroll led the alien delegation to a memorial garden dedicated to the victims of the Correction War. The names of millions of humans who died during the conflict were carved into black stone, walls that stretched for miles. After the war ended, we faced a difficult choice, Carroll explained. We had developed technology that could easily conquer the galaxy. Many humans wanted revenge for what had been done to us. Captain Zexhai stared at the endless list of names. "But you chose isolation instead." "Our leaders decided that the cycle of violence had to end somewhere," Carroll continued. "We could either become the oppressors or remove ourselves from the equation entirely. We chose to disappear." Dr. Sam Parker showed them recordings of the great debate that had taken place after the war. Human leaders from across space had gathered to decide humanity's future. The discussion had lasted for months. Some wanted to use our new technology to build an empire, Sam explained. Others wanted to return to the old galactic civilization and pretend the war had never happened. But the majority chose a third option. "Complete isolation," Jake Morrison added. "We used our reality manipulation technology to hide our space from detection, erased ourselves from all galactic records, and began building a society based on our own values rather than galactic standards." The alien delegation stood in silence, overwhelmed by what they had learned. Humanity had not only survived attempted genocide but had chosen mercy over vengeance. They had spent 3 centuries building a peaceful, advanced civilization, while the rest of the galaxy forgot they existed. "What happens now?" Dr. Velnara asked quietly. "Our people believe you are extinct. When we return, they will learn the truth." President Carroll looked at the aliens with compassion. "That will be your choice to make. But remember, some knowledge comes with a price. The question is whether your people are ready to pay it." The emergency alert system screamed across every ship in the Zilonian fleet. Fleet Commander Rextar stood on the bridge of his flagship. watching the tactical display with growing alarm. 17 alien battle fleets from different species were converging on the human boundary zone. Commander, his communications officer reported, "We are receiving distress signals from Captain HFY's research vessel. The messages claim they are being held prisoner by humans." Rextar's mandibles clicked with anger. Impossible. Humans have been extinct for centuries. Someone is using false identification codes. The tactical officer updated the display. "Sir, long-range sensors confirm the presence of unknown vessels near the boundary markers. They appear to be using technology we don't recognize. Prepare the fleet for combat operations," Rextar ordered. "If someone is impersonating humans to trap our research teams, they will learn the price of threatening Zolonian citizens." On the other side of the boundary, General Pete Washington monitored the approaching alien fleets from his command center on the defense station Aurora Prime. After 3 centuries of peace, human military forces were activating for the first time since the Correction War. "General," reported Colonel Lynn Foster, "we have 37 alien warships approaching our borders. Multiple species, including several that participated in the original war against us." Pete studied the tactical information with the eye of a professional soldier. "What's the status of our response fleet?" "Admiral Nancy Thompson is moving the 3rd Defense Fleet into position. 20 human vessels are standing by at the boundary line." Pete activated his communication system. "Patch me through to President Martinez." Carol's voice came through clearly from the capital world. "Pete, I'm watching the same displays you are." "Are we looking at another war?" "Possibly, Madam President. The alien fleets appear to be conducting a rescue operation. They think we're holding their people prisoner." "What's the status of our alien visitors?" "Captain HFY and his crew are still on Liberty Prime with Dr. Chang. They're trying to contact their fleet. But the aliens out there don't believe humans still exist." Back on the Swift Current, which was now docked at a human space station, Captain HFY frantically tried to reach Fleet Commander Rextar. The communication channel was full of static and interference from the massive military buildup. "Rextar, this is HFY. Do not approach the human boundary. I repeat, do not engage. The humans are not hostile." The reply came back filled with disbelief. "HFY, you are being deceived. Humans are extinct. Whoever is holding you prisoner is using false identity signals." Dr. Velnara stepped beside the communication console. "Commander Rextar, this is Dr. Velnara, Swift Current Science Officer. I can confirm that humans are alive and have been living in this region for centuries. They are not our enemies." "Impossible," Rextar's voice crackled through the speakers. "Our historical records clearly show human extinction after the Correction War." Navigator Throst joined the conversation. "Commander, the historical records are false. The humans survived the war and chose isolation. They have been hiding from galactic civilization to avoid further conflict." The communication channel went silent for several minutes. When Rextar's voice returned, it was filled with confusion and anger. "Even if this impossible claim is true, it changes nothing. No species has the right to hide entire regions of space from galactic civilization. We demand the immediate release of our research team and full disclosure of human activities." On Aurora Prime, General Washington watched as more alien ships joined the gathering fleet. The display now showed over 50 vessels from 7 different species, all armed and ready for battle. "General," Colonel Foster reported, "the alien fleet is moving into attack formation. They appear to be preparing for an assault on our boundary stations." Pete made a decision that would change galactic history. "Contact Admiral Thompson. Tell her to move our fleet to the boundary line. Full defensive posture, but do not fire unless fired upon. Sir, that will reveal our true military capabilities to the aliens. It's time they learned what 3 centuries of isolation has accomplished." The human defense fleet moved with precision that shocked the alien observers. 20 ships that looked nothing like the human vessels from historical records took positions along the boundary. They were sleek, elegant, and seemed to bend light around their hulls. Fleet Commander Rextar stared at his tactical display in disbelief. "Sensors cannot get accurate readings on those ships. Their technology is interfering with our scanning equipment." His tactical officer looked up from his console with confusion. "Commander, the energy signatures from those vessels are impossible. They appear to be drawing power directly from space itself." Admiral Nancy Thompson opened a communication channel to all alien fleets. Her image appeared on every alien ship's main screen simultaneously. She was a calm woman in her 50s, wearing a simple military uniform. "This is Admiral Thompson of the Human Defense Fleet. You are approaching the sovereign territory of humanity. State your intentions." The alien fleet commanders looked at each other in shock. Some had never seen a human before, having been born long after the Correction War. Others recognized human features from ancient historical records. Rextar found his voice first. "Human, if that is what you truly are, we demand the return of our research team and an explanation for your deception of galactic civilization." "There has been no deception," Nancy replied calmly. "Humanity chose isolation after the war your ancestors started. We have lived peacefully in this region for 3 centuries, harming no one." A Croton fleet commander interrupted the conversation. "The Correction War ended with human extinction. Our records are clear." "Your records are incomplete," Nancy responded. "Humanity survived your attempt at genocide and developed technology that made continued conflict pointless. We chose to disappear rather than seek revenge." Meanwhile, on Liberty Prime, President Carroll made the most important decision of her presidency. She activated the quantum communication system that could reach every human world simultaneously. "Citizens of humanity," she announced, "after 300 years of isolation, we have been discovered by the galactic civilization that once tried to destroy us. The time for hiding is over. We must choose our path forward." Back at the boundary, the standoff continued. Captain Zexhi's voice cut through the tension between the fleets. "All ships, please listen. I have spent days with these humans. They are not the monsters our ancestors described. They are peaceful, advanced, and they chose mercy when they could have chosen vengeance. We are the ones who were wrong." Dr. Velnara's voice joined her captain's plea. "The truth is difficult to accept, but we must face it. Our ancestors tried to commit genocide against humanity because they feared human innovation. The humans won the war but chose isolation over conquest." Elder Zexhi's communication reached both fleets simultaneously. The old Zolonian's confession about the true nature of the Correction War spread through every ship in both armadas. "Fleet." Commander Rextar sat in stunned silence as he learned that his own species had participated in an attempted genocide, based on greed rather than fear. Around him, his crew struggled to process the revelation that everything they had been taught about human history was a lie. Admiral Thompson's voice broke the silence. "You have a choice to make. You can accept the truth and work toward peaceful coexistence, or you can repeat the mistakes of your ancestors. But understand this. Humanity is no longer the weak species you once tried to destroy." The human ships around her began to demonstrate their capabilities. They shifted through dimensions, manipulated gravity, and showed technology that made the alien fleets look primitive by comparison. "We offer you the same choice we made 3 centuries ago," Nancy continued. "Peace or isolation. But we will no longer hide from the galaxy. The map ends at human space because we choose where it ends." Fleet Commander Rextar looked at his tactical display one final time. His 17 ships faced 20 human vessels that could easily destroy his entire fleet. But more importantly, he faced the moral weight of his ancestors' actions and the choice of what kind of legacy his generation would leave. "All alien fleets," he announced, "stand down from combat operations. We have much to discuss."